Hello, hello. I hope I find you and everyone else very, very well today. Before we get started, guys, let's go ahead and get the usual out of the way. Remember, guys, that this is a general reading, so please take what resonates and leave what doesn't. And please, please, please do not force anything regarding your situation. If you'd like to book a private reading, then it will be more geared towards your unique situation. Please visit www.intuitiveperceptions.com to book your reading today. And while you're on the website, please utilize the chat feature as I will answer back. And you can go ahead and explain your situation, and I'll there be able to provide you with the best service. Okay, let's go ahead and bless the decks, and we'll get started. Father God, I open all channels of light, north, south, east, and west. Guardian angels of the four directions, high councils who serve the law of one, holy pure ones, please anchor this space now in your divine consecration to provide Scorpio with the clarity and direction as to which he or she seeks. And please grant me, the reader, the objectivity to read the cards and relay every single message as they're meant and or intended to be. Scorpiolo. Okay, so in terms of traditional tarot, we have here the Ace of Swords reversed, with the King of Swords, Justice, the King of Cups, and the Empress here for you. Now, I haven't seen these two end cards here. These are sort of your advice cards, but we do have the runes for friendship, also instinct, kind of has a little bit of a dual meaning, and we also have the rune for justice or harvest. They both have a little bit of a dual meaning in terms of the runes, but you could be dealing with the Pisces, Cancer, or Scorpio, or you could be dealing with an air sign, Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius, maybe even an Aries possibly, and you also maybe could be dealing with a Libra, or you can have any of those signs in your chart or in the person. If you're dealing with a person in their chart, just go ahead and apply it, guys. But Scorpio, this month, some things are going to come to light. You are going to realize or have this moment of clarity. And it's going to take you by surprise, Scorpio. And your first and initial reaction, I feel, is going to be kind of a sense of doubt. I'm kind of picking up here. Now, let me go ahead and clarify what I mean when I say doubt. Kind of doubt in yourself or in your abilities. Also doubting your intuition. But it's going to be something that is short-lived, and your approach to understanding this situation, person, place, or thing, whatever it is for you today, is going to switch. Your perception is going to switch. But you're initially going to, I feel, cast some self-judgment upon yourself in terms of what comes to light and the moment of clarity that is to come. And Scorpio, it's going to, like I said, it's going to throw you off at first. But then you're going to have, like I said, this moment of kind of saying to yourself, but wait, it isn't me. Something like that, where you're going to kind of exclude yourself from the situation, person, place, or thing. And what's going to happen, I feel, Scorpio, is that there's going to be this moment of just sheer clarity. And I don't want to say, Scorpio, that the situation, person, place, or thing had lies involved or deception involved, even though there may have been, or there may be, some aspects of it. I feel like it's more of information being withheld. I don't really feel, Scorpio, like it's very detrimental to you. But I really do feel, Scorpio, that it can become. but I don't see you going down that road of self-debilitation. I really don't see that happening here. And there's going to be, given that you're a water sign, you know, very dualistic, but there's going to be, Scorpio, this moment, right, or a part of this, there's going to be an aspect, Scorpio, of almost splitting yourself in half. Now, when I say that, what I mean is there's going to be the emotional side of you, and then there's going to be the very logical side of you. And I believe, Scorpio, that that's where the confusion is going to kind of manifest from initially, when I say that you're going to maybe impose some self-doubt upon yourself in terms of your intuition and in terms of not seeing whatever this is. So you're going to have this moment of this logical side of you, or looking at the situation in a logical stance, or upon a logical stance, you know. And what it's going to be, Scorpio, I feel, is that you may become, or you may have moments of, while this logic is coming through, or this logical approach is being implemented, that you will feel, Scorpio, like you want to just kind of say what is on your mind and kind of just speak the truth. But I don't really feel, Scorpio, that it may not come off, or it may not be delivered from you, or by you, in a very compassionate manner. So I do feel like there's a little bit of apprehension that's going to come. And this apprehension is a good thing, I feel, because I feel as though that it's going to cause you, or it's going to deter you away from kind of being impulsive and just rolling with one side of how you feel. Even though this is a great side here, the cards are not necessarily bad here. I mean, the Ace of Swords reverse is a little worrying. You know, it's a little bit kind of a worrisome card in terms of the spread, but we'll get to that. But I really just feel, Scorpio, that you're going to see that how this logic is applied, it's going to make or break the situation. And it's also going to allow you to steer the situation, person, place, or thing into a positive direction. Now, there is, or what I'm picking up here, a sense of not trying to step on other people's toes, but at the same time being very passionate regarding saying what is on your mind, and you calling a spade a spade. But I feel as though, Scorp, that you're going to do your best, and I feel like you're going to be successful at it, in terms of delegating how it's being delivered and how other people are going to perceive it. We want it to be absorbed and not ignored, you know? So I really feel here, Scorpio, that you're going to see that there's a lot of duality here, but you're going to see that there's two sides to the situation. You may have not been privy to a specific side of the situation. So I feel like you may feel as though that you were given kind of maybe the shit end of the stick, or you were involved within that shitty end. But I really do feel that you're going to rise above that feeling, and you're going to really use it to your benefit in terms of saying what needs to be said, and that's it. And also being diplomatic in delivering it, and being as fair as possible. Because I feel, Scorpio, that you felt like maybe initially that you were maybe on that shitty side, and you kind of felt like it wasn't fair for you. So that initial feeling of feeling like, you know, you were on the unfair or shitty side is going to help you gain a perception or a perspective regarding who you don't want to be upon that side once you have exited that side. If that makes sense. I hope I'm making sense here. Kind of a lot is coming through. But I really just feel like people don't truly understand until they're the one standing there. And you were standing there regarding the shitty side or the unfair side. So you don't want to push other people within that that group or in that side. So compassion is going to come from it, but it's going to come from more of understanding that there's more than one way to skin a cat. And I feel, Scorpio, that it's this thing, person, place, idea, whatever it is, that's going to come to light. It's something that you can't really hold yourself accountable for in terms of not seeing it. I'm really picking up like subconscious. It was very unconscious. I'm not really picking up the motives of other people who were involved here. What I'm picking up on is more of you just kind of skipping over it. But it was something important. Because there's this other side of you, Scorpio, where the emotion... Oh, before I say that, we have the King of Swords here. We also have Justice here. They both have a sword, but let's focus on the King of Swords here for a second. This is someone who upholds the law. This is someone who, in a sense, rids themselves of their emotion, or they put their emotions on the back burner for the intent of obtaining the truth from the situation. And that's what's going to kind of happen. That's going to be one side of you, right? Okay, now with saying that, I feel like over here, the emotional side of you is then going to be seen and implemented. And that's where the compassion is going to come in. And the compassion is going to come in from you seeing or believing initially that you were on that shitty side, you know, or the unfair side. So that's going to happen. And then you come over here to the passionate side, or I'm sorry, to the compassionate side, and you're then going to be honest and upright and forthcoming. And you're also going to stay calm within the situation where your emotions are going to be kind of curbed to obtain a viable outcome. You're trying to create something, but I feel like it's more, Scorpio, of a solidifying something, the beginning stages of something. You're trying to create equilibrium and balance here. And you're also going to trust your intuition as well. But I feel like at the beginning of this, before the splitting, I feel like it's going to feel like a whirlwind of emotions. It's going to feel kind of like you're going to feel blindsided almost. And I'm getting the a little message here of sometimes it's not that serious in terms of how we were involved within the situation. Because sometimes, Scorpio, we need to be the lighthouse of the situation. And when we walk away, or when we do not indulge in being or indulging ourselves within the victimhood of the situation, and we kind of just exclude ourselves, and then we stop, and then we look at the situation as a whole and everyone else that's involved, we can see things a little bit more clear. We can then kind of be strategic in our delivery and in our solution. Because I feel, Scorpio, that other people that were involved in this may have not seen this either, but you just kind of caught it. And since this is general, I don't want to get too specific in terms of what you caught, but just apply it to your situation. But I really do just feel that this splitting of logic and emotional approaches, it's not going to be there at the fore or the beginning of the situation when whatever it is comes to light, when you now obtain that clarity. I'm also picking up that you were walking through the fog a little bit and you couldn't see really maybe what was directly in front of you. But now you understand, you know, when we take a step back, we remove our emotions from the situation to then gain that logical side, to then apply viable and specifically oriented logic to the situation. We can then curb our emotions for the benefit of the situation or the outcome, if that makes sense. But whatever this is, Scorpio, don't view it, or don't view yourself within this situation as the one who was left out, or kind of the one who blames themselves for like, why didn't I see that? I'm also picking up here too, how many times do I have to go through this situation before I notice the red flags? Before I notice when things start to go awry? But this is going to be the key moment where you're going to teach yourself, Scorpio, about self-honesty and about self-containment and controlment, if that's even a word, but I think you understand what I'm saying. You're going to catch yourself in terms of not skewing to the self-pity side, and I hate to say those and choose those types of words, but I feel like I can now because you've moved past that. Interesting. Okay, let's see. Okay, we have the Two of Wands reversed. And over here we have the High Priestess. Okay, yeah. I was picking that up here with the intuition part. Okay. I really feel, or what I'm starting to kind of pick up a little bit, Scorpio, is that the Two of Wands reversed here. This is what was going to happen before the logic was applied. Before you took that step back and separated the emotion with the logic or from the logic. And I feel as though that you avoided a lot of confrontation. You avoided a lot of avoidable consequences in a sense. You avoided things going really awry or things going really wrong in terms of turning it into something that it possibly wasn't or isn't, or it was never meant to be. And I feel like with the Two of Wands here reversed for you, it's what used to happen in terms of the instinctual jump to the conclusions, jump to the putting yourself down, or jumping to the boarding the pity train, you know, like that kind of thing. And I feel as though that this is no longer going to be present within your life, but it's going to be it's an adjustment or an adoption of a new type of instinct. I don't want to say that it's not so innate, but it's an evolutionary shift, I feel, in trying to kind of accept our limitations. I know I'm picking that up here too, but you may not see it completely through. Like I said, this is one's dependent upon the other. It's a little bit difficult to kind of explain this, but one's dependent upon the other, and you have to have both. That's why there was a splitting, to understand both sides, so then you can bring it to the center, put it together, and come up with the most viable solution or approach. And I feel as though that it's going to be a shift, like I said, of instinctual responses, of instinctual understanding, instinctual approach. And I feel here with the High Priestess here, I really just feel, and with the Rune for Harvest, that you're going to really apply your intuition this month. Your intuition is going to be your best friend this month because it's your higher self. That little voice is there for a reason. Those are our guides, our ancestors, our angels, trying to warn us about something, or asking us or advising us to take a step back and to really look at the situation for what it really is. And I also feel like there's going to be a lot of self-respect that's going to be developed from trusting that intuition, and from also realizing that sometimes we don't have to understand why things are, or how, or why things happen initially, because you wouldn't have had this moment, which is an evolutionary step within the right direction. It's a real shift of consciousness. Now, I'm not saying that it's just going to be roses and daisies and boxes of chocolates, from here on end, or from here on out, in terms of when situations arise. But I feel like you did this for yourself, but it was because you listened to your higher self, you listened to your angels, you listened to God, you listened to that voice inside that said, hold on, relax, relax. And you also avoided a lot of confrontation. You avoided the situation exacerbating, or it being like hyperbolized, it being like kind of blown out of proportion. And then the whole reason why there wasn't clarity to begin with kind of doesn't gain any clarity. It kind of, shifts to a different idea. It shifts in terms of the understanding of where it went wrong, of the situation kind of deters to the left, and then it's just kind of like shit piled on top of shit, and nothing was learned. You have avoided that. And I think that's why the Empress is here for you, because it's the person, or the type of energy this card embodies, is creating something and it being viable in terms of perpetuating on and living and moving forward. And then 2, 3 in terms of the major arcana. So listening to yourself, trusting your intuition, being okay with not understanding everything upon initial stance, or upon an initial stance, but then when we do understand it, at least we slow down to gain clarity. That's when we can then create something from it, because we completely understand how it works and where it's going, All right, Scorpio. Sorry, that took a little bit, hope you're not confused. That was a lot to kind of put into words. It was a little difficult for me to explain that. But I feel like this is the energy that you're going to experience, or you're going to feel, in terms of when that clarity is, or the not having the clarity, I should say, is recognized. And it's like, whoa, blindsided again, like I said, and you're not going to know how to approach it. You're not going to know if you, or you haven't decided if you want to just go ahead and go all YOLO'd out, be a Scorpiolo, and just say what you need to say, and just regardless of how it comes out, and and just exacerbating the issue, But I don't feel like that's what's going to happen this time around. Interesting, Scorpio. All right, let's pull some Jesus cards, or Jesus card. See what he has for you. All right, only one card is what you really needed. Yeah, like it. Be not afraid, only believe. Mark 5:36. Yeah, Scorpio, that's the clarity. is not being afraid of the unknown. Going back to the High Priestess here. This is a card of someone who knows the secrets of life, but necessarily doesn't express them upon certain or given instances, because it's a case of what we don't know doesn't hurt us kind of thing. But there's this switch of consciousness, like I said, this change of behavior, in terms of approaching situations. And you're going to feel maybe upon this commencing that a little bit of fear in you, or being afraid of whoa, why was I not included in this, or why didn't I see this, or why was I left out in the cold, or why didn't I catch on to this. But you're going to be fair with yourself. You're going to understand that there's dual side, but you're going to turn that moment of fear and of unknowingness into strength, and you're going to turn it into something that's positive. And just to know, Scorpio, that you did this on your own in terms of soulful growth, and in terms of listening to your higher self, listening to God, listening to your angels, listening to that newfound or new form of establishment of instinct. Because being afraid, Scorpio, it hinders us. It prevents us from moving forward. And also, being afraid or fear is a very surface emotion. There's something more, there's a deeper emotion that's beneath the surface, and it's sadness. It's emotional instability. Because being afraid and reacting accordingly to being afraid is a defense mechanism, But that defense mechanism is now going to be gone. It's going to, you're going to realize that it doesn't serve you any longer. And you're also going to realize too, Scorpio, that how I said you did this on your own. You're also going to realize that you really didn't do it completely on your own. About 90%. The other 10%, came from your higher self, came from your angels, came from God, came from allowing that guidance to guide us. Because it guided you. It didn't make the decision for you, but it helped to guide you to the right decision, and you manifested what needed to be done, which came from your own beliefs and came from your own morals and ethics, and trusting yourself within this process, and walking into the unknown and actually saying, I'm going to do it differently this time. All right, Scorpio, great reading. I really like it. I think the bit of advice that I can maybe really give you is have patience this month of March. Take things in stride, Don't jump the gun. Because look what comes from it, Okay, check out Mark 5. Pretty sure there's going to be something in there that resonates really deeply with you. All right, Scorpio, keep up the good work. Don't be afraid any longer. You've conquered that uncomfortability in terms of uncertainty. All right, Scorpio, we'll see you next month.